There comes a time in each and every one of our lives when we must choose to continue to spectate or stand up for what's right.
Now, everything you've heard is why I, the actual owner of the Alaska Cannabis Club, will be dedicating all of my energy toward fighting for freedom and fairness, which begins with legalizing marijuana here in Alaska. And as for this job, well, not that I have a choice, but fuck it, I quit.
All right, we apologize for that.
Shouldn't cocaine be legal? I mean, because if we legalize marijuana, a lot of people will come behind marijuana and say, well, shit, you legalize marijuana, why don't you just go ahead and legalize cocaine? I mean, how many people have died from cocaine? Oh, what are you talking about? A lot of people have overdosed from cocaine. Oh, but generally speaking, people who do cocaine don't die from it. They just have a good time and go about their business. So now you have the cokehead saying, oh, well, you legalizing marijuana, let's just legalize cocaine. Then you have the crackheads coming behind the cocaine heads, who came behind the marijuana heads, who came behind the cigarette and alcohol heads, because this is all this is. This is the citizens not being responsible in their country, and this comes from not being patriotic. You don't value your country. You don't value yourself in your country. A lot of people try to justify legalizing marijuana to say that the government is contradicting themselves by legalizing cigarettes and alcohol and not legalizing marijuana. See, they don't want to legalize marijuana because, that brings people together and it's peaceful and it's loving and it doesn't hurt anyone. It has medicinal purposes, See, the government is evil. If that's the case, if you believe that, if you really believe the government is trying to kill you, because that's what you're saying. If you believe the government is trying to kill you by legalizing cigarettes and alcohol, then we should have overthrown the government already. Like other countries do, they overthrow the governments. Why haven't you overthrown the government? If you claim that they are trying to kill you by legalizing cigarettes and alcohol that have been known to cause lung cancer, throat cancer, all of these things, and death, and liver cancer, and all of these things, then you're basically saying the government is allowing these things to be legal, knowing that it could lead to death. So if you believe that is what the government is doing, then we should have overthrown the government already because, they're trying to kill us. That's not what's happening. The government legalized cigarettes and alcohol because it was the very stupid citizen. No, I'm not going to say stupid citizen. Back in those days, cigarettes became legal because people were out there working hard, some people worked in the fields and all this type of stuff. And, that's where the tobacco leaves, it came from the fields. And somebody, probably rolled up a cigarette and they smoked it and they got a calming feel and stress relieving, element to it. So they went to the government and said, we're working hard. This is actually not bad. It's helping us deal with our stresses. The government looked into it. They didn't find any problems with it, really. They legalized it. And you're saying, well, that's not the same cigarette today. What is all of them chemicals in all of the cigarettes today? That's a different government. That's what we call the shadow government, right? But it became industrialized. So what happened is they started creating tobacco companies. And then when the tobacco companies came about, they made the cigarettes stronger with the sense of stress relief. And that's where all of those chemicals came in, right? The alcohol, as we know, these things come from the earth. The hops, right? These things come from the earth. Now, what the government will say to the hippie will say, well, because they have to protect the shadow government because, of course, the shadow government is in the shadows. They can't expose them. They have to take it on the chin for what the shadow government is doing and framing the government into making them look like they are trying to kill people by legalizing cigarettes and alcohol. So they have to take it on the chin. So they have to deal with people asking questions. Who cares about a Surgeon General message on the fucking cigarette pack? It's unhealthy for you. Why is it legal, right? So the government has to deal with those questions, right? But then they have to deal with the hipster that says, well, you have cigarettes legal, alcohol legal, marijuana should be legal. When's the last time marijuana killed someone? When's the last time marijuana was involved with a car accident that killed 4 or 5 people in a car accident? Which, by the way, that has happened, right? That isn't happening, so it should be legal. So the government is put in a corner to do what the citizens say because they are there to work for the citizens. The real government, right? So legalizing marijuana, all that's going to happen is the same thing that happened when cigarettes and alcohol became really prevalent in society. You'll have people complaining about, I lost my job, I dropped out of college, I dropped out of high school, and I said high school because once you legalize marijuana, teenagers are already smoking weed already. Once you legalize it, it's a fantasy land for them now. If you've ever been to a convenience store, they have all type of flavored blunts. Tropical Hawaiian flavor. Fucking crystal blueberry fucking fantasy. They got all type of colorful taste the rainbow Skittle type of fucking shit with blunts. That's for young people. If you go in a poor neighborhood, in the crevices of the neighborhood, not on a main street where they had convenience stores, in the crevices of the neighborhood, there are stores that sell these tobacco products to young people because they're making money off of it, right? The celebrities, the rich people, the inheritance rich people, the spoiled rich people, the celebrities, the hipsters. These people are mainly the only people advocating legalizing marijuana. If you look at anything on the news, say the majority of people or white people. I just got through seeing the news and they were interviewing people about legalizing marijuana. I didn't see not one black person. And this is another thing. Black people should be protesting against legalizing marijuana. How is that gonna help you? How will legalizing marijuana help you? It's not gonna help you. You'll just be high, enjoying yourself with 4 or 5 kids and in and out of jail. How is that gonna help you stay in school? How is that gonna help you go to college? Make your parents proud. Make your family proud. You can't make them proud if you're sitting around smoking weed all the time, trying to come up with some entrepreneur idea of how to make some money because you ain't going to school. Because you rather sit around and smoke weed, keep making excuses. Oh, I got this idea. I got this idea to make some money. I'm going to be a millionaire. Because I tend to think, if I smoke weed, I'll become more creative. So, ideas will just start popping in my head and I can become a millionaire because if I smoke weed, it'll give me these ideas. But then you'd be too lazy to go forward with the idea because you'd rather sit around and smoke weed. Cat Williams, he was doing a bit about smoking weed. And he said, fuck it. We need to get that fuck it in our system. Your bills driving you crazy, just fuck it, your light bill, your lights got turned off, a lot of people, you be stressed out, oh, what am I do about my light bill, what am I gonna do with my light bill, my lights are turned off, I ain't got the money, you take one puff of that blunt, and I bet you say, fuck them damn lights, right, fuck them damn lights, right, fuck them lights, I've been waiting to use these candles anyway, fuck them damn lights, and you'll end up just like the news reporter that quit her job on national television, tell my fuck it, I quit.
Now, everything you've heard is why I, the actual owner of the Alaska Cannabis Club, will be dedicating all of my energy toward fighting for freedom and fairness, which begins with legalizing marijuana here in Alaska. And as for this job, well, not that I have a choice, but fuck it, I quit. Fuck it, I quit. Alright, we apologize for that.
That's what weed does to you. But you notice, it doesn't do that really to the white weed smoker. You know why? Because their lifestyle is different from a black person's. They don't say, fuck it. What they say is, they don't have to say, fuck it. Because they're in a good position financially. They're stable. So a 19, 20-year-old white kid can go out and smoke weed and ride around in their nice car and their parents will still provide for them. Oh, they're just going through a phase. They know they need to, they graduated from high school. They're just having fun right now. We allow them to have fun. We don't want to smother them and, make them feel trapped and not free to do what they want to do as a young person. So we're gonna allow them to smoke weed and drink and have a good time. And they're confident and they're conscious of being able to smoke weed and have that security blanket to do so. But the black person, primarily in the middle class and lower class environments, doesn't have that privilege to say, fuck it. You don't have that privilege to do that. See? You don't have that privilege. And these celebrities are sitting around, weed should be legal. Weed should be legal. Let's look at some of the damn celebrities that are advocating legalizing marijuana. In addition to tracking prominent people who have already spoken out, MarijuanaMajority.com has a social component that lets individual supporters play a role in convincing even more opinion leaders to publicly say they favor reform. Visitors to the site will be able to easily send targeted tweets to celebrities and politicians with just a few clicks, encouraging them to speak out and join the marijuana majority. Among the initial get out the quote targets are Ben Affleck, Mark Cuban, John Cusack, Van Jones, Bill Nye the Science Guy, Shaquille O'Neal, Rihanna, and Kanye West. Ben Affleck, he's an actor. He smokes weed, right? And people would be convinced to legalize marijuana due to his so-called sophisticated persona, so he must be coming at it from an intellectual perspective. Oh, Ben Affleck said legalize it. Matt Damon said legalize it. They're quite intelligent. So, they've researched, they understand the dynamic of it. Mark Cuban, who looks like he's a cokehead, he's a very liberal person. Legalize it. Let's all have fun. He's a millionaire. He doesn't care. John Cusack, actor, he probably smokes weed. So, of course, he's going to say advocate, legalize it. Van Jones, I don't even know who Van Jones is. I probably do. I'd probably recognize the person if I saw them. Bill Nye the Science Guy, of course, he's talking about legalizing marijuana because he probably sits in his science lab smoking weed, coming up with all type of scientific theories about shit. Shaquille O'Neal, he's not doing nothing with himself. All he does is sit on TNT laughing at Charles Barkley's jokes. So, of course, he wanted legal. I can sit around and smoke weed and be high on TNT and laugh at Charles Barkley talking about San Antonio women are fat. Rihanna, duh, of course she legalizes. She in a video smoking weed. Kanye West. Now he's kind of a suspicion because Kanye West to me seems like a very conscious individual. He seems like he has this black empowerment thing going. So I know he understands the dynamic of legalizing marijuana that could be detrimental to black people. But nevertheless, these are just a few of the celebrities that are advocating legalizing marijuana. Now let's look at some more. Ending marijuana prohibition enjoys support from religious leaders like Pat Robertson, business leaders like David Koch, entertainers like Morgan Freeman, world leaders like Colombian President Juan Manuel Santos, and by the way, the majority of U.S. voters added Marijuana Majority Advisory Board members Sean Dunnigan, who served as Drug Enforcement Administration intelligence analyst for 13 years. No one who realizes that our failed marijuana laws cause tremendous violence and waste should be afraid to say so. Get the fuck out of here. Stop trying to justify legalizing marijuana based on a criminal element. Oh, we waste so much money locking these people away who are in possession of marijuana. That's wasting our tax dollars. That's wasting our money. It's a crime. But they're not violent criminals. Crackheads aren't violent criminals neither. Well, they can become, but generally a crackhead just wants some crack. So what's next? You're gonna say, well, let's legalize crack. We're wasting money locking these crackheads away. They're not harming anyone. They're not killing people. They're just smoking crack in their private headquarters. They're not doing anything wrong to anyone. So that's why I started off saying that they're going to legalize cocaine after legalizing marijuana. Then after legalizing cocaine, the crackheads will be saying, well, shit, all I do is sit and smoke crack in my house. I don't bother anyone. That should be legal. Then you'll have a floodgate open of a bunch of drug heads saying, well, legalize meth, legalize heroin. Let's just legalize everything and destroy our country.